Picture this, you're a D2 college freshman, you had a great fall, you had a great winter, but the first weekend series rolls around and your name's not on the travel roster. But instead of getting discouraged or pissed off, you just keep putting in the work. Next week's inter-squad, you hit 90 miles per hour for the first time in your entire career. That weekend, you get put on the travel roster, and the following weekend, you actually get your first college save where you punch out the side. Sounds pretty sweet, right? Well, that's exactly what Hayden did inside of our program, and in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what he did throughout that time frame and give you the secret sauce on how we're helping guys just like Hayden inside of our program. Everybody who hops in our program, Hayden sent over his onboarding video. What's really nice about this is Hayden's school uses Aware, so we have a bunch of different camera angles. We have the velocity on the side, which is really nice, so it really gave us a really good depiction of what was going on in Hayden's delivery. First thing we noticed is the drift was really good. Right, he gets the peak leg lift here, and he's already drifting towards home plate. There's a lot of different ways that you can drift, but this is how Hayden's drifting, and it works fine. The issue that we noticed throughout his delivery was once he drifted, he never got into the back leg. So the drift really comes in, you could say, two parts, right? You want to drift towards home plate, right? You want to create momentum going this way. And then secondly, you want to drop into the back leg and into the back hip. What's happening here is Hayden's drifting and gaining momentum towards home plate, but he's never using that momentum in the back leg. He kind of has a straight back leg here. It's a little bent, but knees are really over toes, and it's not rotating as well as he could. So that was kind of the first thing I noticed. And then it really becomes apparent here when we go into foot strike because he lands on his toe. So when you land on your toe, what that tells me is you're rotating either too early or your stride length is not long enough. For Hayden, it was a little bit of both. His rotation was a little bit earlier than his upper half, and you can't tell in this video, but he's a pretty big kid, and he's landing as if he was like 5'8", 5'10". So he's landing super, super short here, landing on the toe and not really using the back leg. He obviously ends up rotating. We all rotate when we throw, but it's just not very efficient. And then the lead leg block is non-existent, right? He has vertical shin here, right? So if our shin's vertical like this, it means that we're not blocking properly. So what we really want is the shin to be more of a angle like this and back. And then again, when we want to block, this front hip will go back this way towards the rubber. This right hip will start peeling forward. That's really what a block should look like. We look at Hayden here. It's just, it's kind of that hyperextension front leg that a lot of pitchers are taught, which again, in order to have a proper lead leg block, you don't need a straight leg. You just need to use your hips and rotate properly. So this is kind of what Hayden was taught throughout his career of just extend your front leg, which isn't what blocking is. He ends up changing levels a lot here throughout his release. And again, just not a very athletic delivery at the end of the day, right? And as I said, the nice part is we have a bunch of different angles of Hayden throwing here. And we can really see in this angle as well, as I said, drift is really good. Main thing I said as well to him in the beginning is the leg height looks a little stiff to me. I think he can get his leg a lot higher. He's a big guy, so it just kind of looks really, really stiff. And then you can see here, he kind of gets stuck. There's no drop into the back leg. There's no real rotation in these hips. It's just the leg kind of stiffens in the back here, right there. It's just a stiff back leg, and then it just kind of falls forward, right? And then rotation on its own is really his rotation isn't bad inherently. Right here is where we run into problems. It's the rotation's good here, and then as you can still see in this video, you can still see he's going to land on his toe here, and then the lead leg block is bad, and then at this point, rotation just isn't as effective as it could be, right? So those are kind of the things we noticed in his original assessment video, and then the next series of videos I'm going to show you, we really go through how we actually fix these issues so that, as you can see here, Hayden, this was his top, was 86, and this was in the fall. And then, as I said in the beginning of this video, he gets up to 90 miles an hour. So in the next couple videos I show, it's really how we decided to attack the issues with Hayden. So as I said with Hayden, one of the biggest problems with Hayden was his lead leg block. So in this drill, I call this kind of the lead leg block drill. We're trying to really over-exaggerate the feeling of the shin being behind the foot here and being kind of more spread out for him in his entire body. Because as I said, he was landing as if he was 5'8", 5'10". His foot would normally be here or sometimes even here, right? So I said to him, when we're doing this drill, it's an exaggeration, right? Is he ever going to be this spread out, this extended in his delivery? Absolutely not. But what we want to do in drill work or anything outside of actual catch play or mound work, and this is kind of a part of his catch play, but we want to exaggerate it, right? Because the hope and the theory is if we exaggerate it, then once we come to being on the mound, we'll meet somewhere in the middle and we'll actually be in the range we want. So I had him over exaggerate the length of his legs here because, as I said, that was a really big issue. And then understanding that this hip has to go back this way. So when we watch this drill through, when he starts to rotate, this hip starts to come back, right? And that was the biggest thing. Could some things in this drill overall be optimized a little bit better? Of course. But the main things that we wanted to focus on here was a strong lead leg, a longer stride length, and making sure that that hip is coming back, which now it is. Could it be better? 100%. But he gained 4 miles an hour with doing this drill and a couple other things that we wanted to optimize on his delivery. But again, the main reason for this drill in particular for Hayden specifically, was the lengthening of the stride and understanding that the lead leg needs to come backwards, right? That's the biggest thing. A lot of you can try this drill out and it's not going to work for you because it's not built for you. This was built for Hayden, right? That's the biggest thing. That's why this worked. Again, could there be things in here overall from a perfect mechanic standpoint that could be optimized? Of course, but that's not the point. The point is for him to understand how to translate this over to the mound, right? Lengthening the stride and understanding that the lead leg needs to be strong and that front hip needs to come back. The next video that I'm going to show you guys is really understanding for him his direction throughout his delivery. One of the biggest things we noticed as well outside of the stride length and the front hip was his direction was just kind of off, especially with rotation. So in this next drill, it's really working on his overall direction towards home plate. Next drill, these are step overs. Again, drill work is meant to put you in constraints that are over exaggeration so that, again, we meet somewhere in the middle when we get on the mound. So the step over drill is really understanding that we want this front leg as soon as it's going towards home plate to stay in that direction the whole time. A lot of athletes that we see, and I'm sure a lot of you guys will have this front foot, right? Like if you did a normal leg lift and all of a sudden this front foot swings out this way and you have this big open the gate sort of leg action. And when you do that, couple things happen. Number one is normally this front foot will overcompensate because you swung it so far out towards third base here. It will end up landing somewhere towards first base, so it allows this back hip to rotate through. The other thing that will happen is you do swing it out, you land normally, and then this back hip actually pushes towards third base. So you end up rotating this way. Overall, the biggest problem with the front foot and the lead leg doesn't go in the proper direction is rotation is completely out of sync and you're rotating kind of all over the place. So in the step over drill here, the main thing that Hayden's trying to focus on is dragging that heel towards the catcher the whole way through, right? That's the biggest thing here. So he just wants to take that heel and go straight towards home plate. Now, is he going a little bit towards third still with dragging the foot? Of course, right? It's not going to be a perfect leg lift, but it's so much better than what he was doing previously. So we're now landing straight and again firing through, right? The main thing to understand when you're doing drill work or anything like this is you want to focus on what the drill is meant to do. When I think a lot of times athletes, when they do drills like this, we're like, the main focus of this drill is I want this front foot and this lead leg to go forward and to land here. I don't care about hip rotation here. I don't care about anything else. I only care about that task being accomplished. And we go through here, it's exactly what Hayden does. He lands straight and the foot goes forward. I don't care that his lead leg block could be better. I don't care that his arm action maybe could be better. I don't care his rotation could be better. We are focused on the one thing this drill is meant to accomplish. Instead of trying to solve a million things, we're trying to solve one. But these two drills were really the main things that really synced up for Hayden. And in the next video, I'm going to show you the exact outing in his inner squad where he hit 90 for the first time in his entire career. And that is a huge milestone for anybody. I don't care who you are. If you hit 90 miles an hour, that's the first milestone. Then you want to hit 95 and so on. You can see in this video how much it meant to Hayden to finally hit 90, being, as I said, a really big guy the week before he's not on the travel roster. And as a coach, it was one of the coolest things that's happened to see the excitement from him. So I'm going to show you guys that video right now. So this is the inner squad where Hayden hit 90 miles per hour for the first time in his entire career. And again, the week before, he didn't even make the travel roster. And it would be super easy to be like, F the coaching staff, you know, I don't even want to do this anymore. Like, why am I even putting in this work? Yada, 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 right? That's not what Hayden does. He comes back and hits 90 miles per hour for the first time in his career. And this video shows him hitting 90 miles per hour. Obviously, you can see it over here. But I'm going to play it through, and I just want you to see the reaction that Hayden had and just how much it meant to him for the first time for him hitting 90. So he looks at the scoreboard here, and he actually claps because he's just so excited. And there's another angle right here. Finishes the pitch, and finally sees he hit 90 miles per hour, which on my end is probably one of the coolest things that has ever happened to me as a coach, to see the excitement from him. And then, as I said, after this outing, the coaching staff came up to him and said, hey, man, you're on the travel roster. And then just a short week later, he gets his first college save where he punches out the side. So this video is really just a testament to Hayden and how cool it is to just see his progress inside of the program. And if you want results just like Hayden, you can click the link down below and book a call with us, and we'll see if we're the right fit for you. This is a coaching program where we help guys like Hayden who want to put in the work, who want to play at a high level, who want to get results, who want to be the best they can possibly be. If you're just looking for some quick tips or some quick advice and think that you're going to get results like Hayden, it's just not going to happen. So if you want an actual coaching program and you want results like Hayden, as I said, book a call down below. And as always, Stud Muffins, go prove them wrong.